What up, people? It's your boy White with Bubble Breads, aka I Slap You, aka Say It Again. Yeah, I mean.
Hey, how you doing? This is your man Big Maul, your Big King from Queens, and we are Borough Breads. Yo, today
Bubble
is a
Breads.
really cool show. We got my dude that's gonna come on with us, man. My man Buddha coming on tonight,
Dope
man.
producer, super
Hey,
dope
yo.
producer.
In fact, man, let's let people know a little thing about Buddha, yo, because he's backstage right now. So why don't we play a
All
little
right,
something, man?
let
Because I
me do
want
that
to
so
check
y'all
you
can know
out.
who he is. Yeah, I'll do that
All
real
right,
quick.
all right, because
So,
yeah,
so,
yeah.
so they can know. Hold on for a second, man. I'm about to do this
All
real
right.
quick. You know. But yeah, they got it. Here we go. Let me put the audio joint on. Bow. All right. I'm gonna play this real quick.
There's a beat called Put Your Head Where My Eyes Can See. And the way that came about was the fact that Mello found a record called Sweet Green Fields by Seals and Croft. And he came, he's like, yo, check this record out. So I went out, listened to it. And, it just had that energy. And he was like, well, what are we going to do it on? I was like, well, I got the 2000 in my room. He's like, I don't know how to use that. I was like, I do. Like, let's do it. So Mello just kept handing me records, and I just kept putting it in and programming it and whatnot. And we came up with that beat. And, we danced all night. We danced from the minute we finished that record till about 7 in the morning. We danced to that beat. And the only reason it stopped at 7 in the morning because the doorbell rang and it was my man Fab. Fab, he used to be Buster's road manager. He heard the beat playing. He walked up the stairs. He's like, oh yeah, flip mode. And I was like, damn, that sounded crazy to what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, cool. That's dope. You know what I mean? So he just kept rocking that, and we just listened to the beat. So he's like, yo, I got to take this to Buster, man. I was like, go ahead. So this was a Friday. Me and Mello went to work, and we had to work the whole weekend. So we ended up staying out by some friends out there in Long Island. And I called home on Saturday to check my answering machine, and it was Buster. And he's like, yo, Fab just gave me this beat. I need y'all in the studio tonight, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, all right, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really thinking like that, whatever. So when I spoke to Buster, he was like, yo, I need y'all to come out here tonight. I was like, nah, I don't know, man. We just finished working all weekend. What I can do is I can come out there tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? When I'm fresh and get everything, we can track it out, whatever. Got everything together the next day, went out to the studio, and Mello and Epitome met me out there, and everything worked out and became my first record. Me, Mello, Epitome together, our first record together, my first record, period. And it led to a lot of other things for me. That's the first record I ever did, and it went platinum too. That's a hell of a start. You can't get mad at that, Follow your dreams. You never know where they're gonna lead you.
If you really want to party with me, let me see just what you got for me.
That's what's up. All right. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Hey, do you got your audio going?
Yeah, what's good? Can you hear me?
There he is.
Right. Talk about it, yo.
There's my White. You can go ahead and move that screen, yo.
All
That's
right,
what it is, yo.
First,
shout out.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say more. Shout out on friend, yo, for
Yeah, definitely. East New
York
Entertainment. That's the brother. Cause so Buddha, he was like, yo, all right, we grabbing this footage. We ain't gonna get hit with this footage. I was like, that's Fran Lover's footage right there.
Yeah. No, you good with that.
Looking like
you dead wrong for that one though, because that was a lot of black hairs ago. You know what I'm saying? The game done changed up. That was school, man. That was 2012, I think. Yeah, it was 2012 we did that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the Brand Factory, right?
We shot that at Fred crib.
Oh, okay.
We shot that at his crib because we both got spots where we can record, shoot video, and all that stuff.
Right.
Crib. You know what I mean? So
right.
it's like he was like, yo,
we need to document what you saw. And I've always been one to kind of shy away from the camera and all of that stuff. Like even now, I'm a photographer now too. So, right. but I prefer to be behind the camera, like you know what I mean, as opposed to on camera. But I had to learn, like, you know what, man, can't nobody talk about you better than you. So here I am.
Exactly. And congratulations, man. I love your journey, man. I met you a long time ago too, back in those days too. So, like this is an honor for us to seriously. I know you're my guy, but this is an honor really to have you up there because we all, East New York. Oh, that's Fran Lover right there. Salute.
What up, friends? Yo, good looking on the foot. That was dope.
We gonna have you up here too, yo.
Definitely.
With that being said, before we start, I just want to say one thing real quick before we start.
Okay.
None of that's possible without my man Shamello. You know what I'm saying? Mello,
okay.
Mello did the beat together. You know what I mean? And Mello passed away in March of 2021.
So God bless. God bless. Rest in peace. God bless.
Without him, I'm not doing what I'm doing today. So I have to always give it up to him, and shouts to his family. You know what I mean, and everybody that loved him. You know what I'm saying, because that dude's a special dude. So I just want to start it off with that.
Salute to him for real. Rest in peace and salute.
Rest in peace.
For real, man. Looking down, smiling on you, Buddha, because because this has been a cool journey, man, for real. So I've been digging that. My man B's in there too, yo. B Mac.
Shout out to B. Yo. What up, B?
I see you.
B Mac, what up?
B was on one of our second shows or something like that.
Right,
one of those undercover like back in the day shows, yo. Pause. Back in the day shows.
We need to actually put him back on because B does some things, man. You need to bring him back out. And,
B, listen. I talk to B every day, so he knows he's got to get up here, and he's pretty much a producer of our show. Low key, he's low key, like
B got some. Once we start getting paid, B definitely getting checks, yo.
And but B has been supporting and helping us since day one and before day one, so definitely. And Fran too, yo. Like Fran, even with the last interview with Ralph, the first one we tried to have out there with you at the artist shop out there. You know what I mean? These are my brothers, yo. For real. These are my brothers right here that we got on. So it's just an honor to just have this interview, man, and just to know. And it's funny you said this because last week interview, my boy was trying to explain how us from our era, how we moved with no cameras and how we moved with because cameras wasn't big in our era. It was really honestly, it was kind of intruding. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, because also too, it wasn't as instantaneous back then. You know what I mean? Even if with pictures, it's you take a picture today, you gotta develop that shit. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? Exactly. You shoot some video, you gotta actually have that film developed and put into something so you can actually show it. It wasn't as instantaneous as it is now. You know what I mean?
No. I'm gonna tell you, I had an experience with Buster due to a camera thing. So and B know this too. So I had a magazine 95, 96 called Cypher, and I spoke about up here before. And what had happened was Buster and the whole Flip Mode. In fact, this was around he was promoting that album right there. And sure enough, I would have access to the shows due to the magazine. And they were chilling, and of course we gotta cut the camera on and do what we whoop. And sure enough, they was like, "Yo, turn that camera off, yo, get that camera out my face, yo." I was like, "Nah," but we do. And me, because at that time, it was you have to be coming from New York and coming out of the whole being behind Ralph and Brian, them coming up with Video Music Box. I've been kind of behind that scene, so it's a certain kind of aggressive you gotta have with hood dudes to get what you want out of it. So the politeness was there, but at the same time, you gotta keep that structure there. All right, bro, it's no disrespect. You know what I mean? You gotta keep that attitude. And Buster gave me I don't know if he was drunk or whatever, but it was after his show. And Rampage actually came over and it was like, yo, bro, no offense, yo. Like right now is not a good time. I was like, he'll try to get you an interview later on or whatever. But he was just like, get that camera up my face. That was Buster back then. This was like 96, 95. And that's the type of energy. Now, last time I saw him, his energy totally different. You know what I mean?
I mean, you know, when people like him, you know, they got a lot on their mind, a lot on their plate, a lot of things going on. You know what I mean? So I can never say why somebody does whatever they do. I just know that a lot of times there's a reason behind it. And, you know,
yeah.
I mean, even with all of us, you know, like there's 3 of us on this screen right now, and we talking and about to shoot the show and all this stuff. But who knows what's really going on in each one of our personal lives outside of this, right? This moment right here. You know what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
You know, it's one of them type of things. I mean, there's never really no appropriate time for disrespect, but I'm just saying that, you know, everybody has their reasons.
No,
you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. Everybody has their moments, their reasons, their attitudes, their personalities, whatever. You know what I mean? But big shout out. We had the interview with Ralph McDaniels, but big shout out to people like him that I've seen him cut on the camera and seen him work and saw how he had to work around personalities coming from the rap era or whatever. And even though they was more friendly with Ralph, because Ralph was like the only thing out back then. So everybody was intrigued to get in front of his camera. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like you said, it groomed the next ones coming up who had to cut that camera on, especially in New York, to know that they, like you just said, you got to think of what's all behind it and don't get offended. You know what I mean?
But it was,
you got to think of all, like what you just said.
You know what I'm saying? It was a test for you too. You had to experience something like that in order to understand how to handle anything on the fly. You know what I mean? Like, you catch that.
So like yo Buddha, so like I know that was your first track you did, but how'd you get into making tracks? And that Buster track was your first banger, was like one of the illest bangers I ever heard. But
all right,
how'd you get into making tracks?
So let's clarify two things. First thing I'm gonna say is that video y'all showed, maybe a couple weeks after that video, I was in a crazy car accident, broke my leg.
Yes, I remember.
It was crazy, right? So that, just seeing that, every time I see that, that's the thing that I think about, because that same shirt I had on in that video had to be cut off of me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was crazy. Like, it was crazy. But it back to how I got into it. Back to Shamello. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I first started out in the business, like, I wasn't even really 100% in the business. I was aspiring to be in the business. So, you know, I had a friend who knew a dude who knew special ed. You know what I mean? And Big Ray was the dude's name. And Ray was gracious. We used to play ball together all the time. You know what I mean? And Ray was like, yo, you know, he let us go hang out with them, and you know what I mean? And then Ed was like, yo, he let me actually go on the road with him. You feel me? And you know, I don't know if you have been or how often you have been, but you know, you go on the road and you experience that life with somebody that has hot records out right then. It's something that you never forget, you know? And that shaped my whole desire to be a part of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, you know what? I wanna be a part of this, but I had to figure out how I was gonna be a part of it, because prior to that, I was doing like a little bit of road management. I was managing a couple different dudes, like, you know what I mean? And they had deals, but they wasn't big deals. You know what I'm saying? There was like independent labels or whatever, but I was doing some road management stuff for them. And then I was like, you know what? No disrespect, but these artists are crazy. You know, I ain't really want to deal with that like that. You know what I mean? So Mello he was already successful because he had written 3 songs for Belle Biv DeVoe on their first album. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I was like, and that was my man. So, you know, he was introducing me to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, yo, this is my man Charlie Brown. Shout out to C Boogie Brown from Lisa New School. This is my man Pinko. You know what I mean? He introduced me to Buster, like, and then like, Mello was making the transition from being a writer of lyrics to being a writer of music. he was learning how to make beats and stuff. So, you know, him and my other partner, Epitome at the time, they had some equipment. They had like a SP 1200, they had a S950, they had an MC 500.
S950, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you know, those two was brother and sister. The 950 and the SP12 was like,
yes, it was.
It was like brother and sister. They went together, you know, like husband and wife more so. You know
yes,
what I mean?
Sir.
And he put me on to a lot of the terminology and a lot of the things that I needed to understand as far as what it took to make a beat. But even further than that, like if you go back early in our relationship, like they all started out in this studio called 510 in Long Island. You know what I'm saying? 510 is famous for the Bomb Squad. You know what I mean? Public Enemy. You know, Leaders
Eric Sadler and all of them. Yes, sir.
Eric Sadler, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Keith and Hank Shockley, you know what I'm saying?
Hank Shock,
Ice Cube, you know what I mean? Like Ice Cube, when Ice Cube left NWA, he came to New York and he landed with the Bomb Squad. They did America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, they did. Yes, they did.
Which set off his whole, you know, solo career. You know what I mean? Which changed the game, allowed him to know that he could do it by himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And they had the vision to help him do that. And those records that you talking about, those dudes was famous for making records that you could listen to all the way through. You know what I'm saying? So with experiencing that, Mello saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. He was like, yo, I'm going to the studio. You gonna come with me? I'm like, all right. He's like, yeah, you gonna record me? I'm like, what you mean I'm gonna record you? I'm like, I ain't never did that before. He's like, no, it's cool. We're gonna work it out. You're gonna record me. And we recorded this song that he did. It's called I should have been a doc. I could have been a doctor. It was crazy. The concept was crazy because he actually put it in his book, but the concept was like him speaking from inside the uterus.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So you know, I'm talking about like about to be aborted. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he was thinking from that perspective. It was crazy, but he had that vision. He saw that I could be able to do that. You know what I mean? And I was able to record the song for him. We recorded the song, but I kind of left that alone. And when he started making beats and stuff, I was like, you know what? I want to do that too. You know, so I was watching him and Epitome do what they was doing. And, you know, from time to time when nobody was on the equipment, I would go in there and I'd mess around a little bit, you know, do a couple little things or whatever. But I didn't really have the time to sit there and really do what I wanted to do as far as, because I'm the type of dude, like, I need to sit there and break it down for myself. Right. So one day Epitome bought this MPC 2000 to the crib. Now, this had never, like, nobody had ever seen it before. Like, it was like a brand new machine. Like,
I remember when it came out, bro. Believe me.
Yeah, nobody had ever seen it. Like, it was like, what is that? You know, and it was just sitting in a box in the studio. Yeah. It was just sitting there because we had the SP12 and the 950, so there was no space for it. And they wasn't trying to sit there and learn something new. You know, you know what I mean? So they was like, yo, they was busy working. So I went in, I was like, yo, you mind if I take this in my room and mess with it?
Right.
He was like, go ahead, you know. So I took it in my room and I just worked hard, man. Just practiced and, you know, tried to implement all the things that I knew from the SP12 and the S950. Fortunately, the 950 was a Kai also. So
yeah, it was.
A lot of the functions were similar. You know what I mean? And I was able to translate one thing to another, you know, and be able to manipulate that machine. But so to clarify again, the beat for Put Your Hands is not the first beat I ever made. It's the first beat I ever sold.
Okay.
Yo.
I've gotten that question before, like, you know, like how the first beat you ever made? Just
right.
Wasn't the first beat I ever made, and if I said that, I misspoke, but I knew what I meant.
Yeah.
The first beat I ever sold.
You ever sold? Yeah.
However,
Gosh, you take.
However, the first beat I ever made did get sold too.
Oh,
Okay.
it did? It eventually got sold?
It eventually got sold too. We actually ended up putting that on Sticky Fingers solo album.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So because I was a big fan of Impeach the President. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
That's what guys.
that loop right there was crazy to me.
Right.
Like,
That loop is nuts.
I love that. So I wanted to take that and put that into a record, and I used that in the first beat that I made, and that ended up going onto Stiggy's album.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
How did you
Go ahead.
Oh no, how did you end up doing the track for Destiny's Child, yo? Because that was crazy.
All right, so that's probably the biggest smoke and mirrors on my resume, right? Because first of all, it was the original 4 girls. It wasn't like it was Destiny Child with the 3 of them. You know what I mean? It was the original 4 girls, and yeah, they was all in the studio. We what happened was, so after we did Put Your Hands, a lot of people wanted to get with us to do stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the thing was, a lot of people was on some, we want something just like that. We want something just like that. And like the way that I was groomed from both Mello, Eric Sadler, and all, like it's not about trying to repeat the same thing. It's about just being crafty, being an artist. You know what I'm saying? It's an art to it. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like trying to duplicate the whole thing. Like that's not what we wanted to do. So fortunately, we used to hang out with my man Charles. My man Quiz, who I know through my cousin Chris. He introduced me to my man Charles. And Charles Farrar, him and Troy had this partnership called The Characters, Troy Taylor, right? Now, Troy Taylor, you might know Troy Taylor from Songbook Music. So, Troy Taylor has Trey Songs.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And he's done a lot of the Characters. They did a lot of records. They worked with Mary. They worked with Boyz II Men. They did Sweet Lady for Tyrese. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
They've done a lot of records. And they had a really, really nice studio. When I say it was nice, they had a really nice studio on 23rd Street, or between Park and Madison.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it was so dope that they had Prince's actual SSL board from Paisley Park.
Wow.
Yeah. The whole room
was big, yo.
The whole room was purple and gold. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, they was on some fly shit. You know what I mean? They was definitely on some fly shit. So, I was just I was blessed to be able to be around dudes like that. And they happened to know the dude who was doing NFL compilation. Okay. So the record that we did with Destiny's Child was a part of the NFL compilation where they pair an artist with an NFL player. So we had Destiny's Child with William Floyd, and we had Andre Rison with Foxy Brown.
Okay.
And we had who was it? Kerry Collins, who was the quarterback for the Giants at the time. I forgot who he was.
Kerry Collins. I remember Kerry Collins.
Yeah, I forgot who he was on the record with though. But it was a bunch of artists that were on records with Boyz II Men was on it. You know, they with different NFL players. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that worked out. Yeah, we got a chance to work. We got a chance to work with Destiny's Child. They really talented, really talented. You know, so they really could sing. We knew that right off the rip. And Beyonce, we knew after that session that Beyonce was going to be a lot bigger than.
So you knew Beyonce was going to be Beyonce, right? She was going to stand out.
Yeah. After that session, we knew she was going to be bigger than what she was seeming like at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
That's all good.
That's the Wizard of Oz right there.
Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah. So we knew what that was. You know, it was very evident. She knew what she wanted to do. She knew how she wanted to do it, and Troy actually co-produced that record with us. You know what I mean? Because at the time, like, you know, I was still learning how to be a producer. You know what I mean? Like, I knew how to make beats. You know what I mean? And, you know, to be completely honest with you, you know, making beats and being a producer is two totally different things.
Two totally different things, bro.
Two totally different things. You know,
two totally different things.
You know, and I can freely admit that because I know what I can do now. You know what I mean? And shortly after that, I knew what I learned how to do. Like, and that's through dealing with dudes like Charles and Troy, and you know, a lot of different people, man, that we worked with. I got a chance to work with a lot of people, man. There's records that we did that I can't even find. I got records.
How'd you get on that Mobb Deep album? Because at the time, Mobb Deep was like sizzling. So it was. I know everybody probably wanted to fuck with you because the Busta beat was like out of this world. So.
Well, a lot of people wanted to fuck with us, but not everybody because we wanted to get on that Nori album.
Okay.
Nori was crazy at that particular point.
Yeah, Nori's out of control, yo.
He was out of control, and we wanted to get on that. And I seen Chris Lighty outside the studio, not outside the studio itself, but outside the studio room, inside the studio. And I was like, yo, what we got to do to get on this Nori album?
Right.
He was like, yo, look, man, right now I got Nori on 19 features.
Damn.
And the album ain't even come out yet. He's about to be oversaturated, and I can't have that. So
wow.
I was like, yeah, but 19, 20, what's the difference? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Rest in peace, Chris Lighty, too, yo.
Rest in peace, Chris Lighty, for real. But,
yeah.
You know, so the beat that we did for that particular record was actually a beat that we gave to Busta.
Oh, okay.
And you know, Busta, he kind of sat on the record for a little bit. You know what I mean? He sat for a while, and we, you know. I mean, think about it. You can't be mad because, I mean, it took him 11 years to make this last album he did?
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, we just didn't have 11 years to wait.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, Mello went to him and was like, yo, what's going on, man? You going to use this or you're not going to use it? Because we need to know, because while you living off of that money, we still doing our best to get money.
Right.
So, he was like, go ahead, man, take it, do what you got to do. So as God would have it, Mello walked out of that studio B room, it's either B or C, and walked into this other room right across the hall, and Prodigy was in there.
Damn.
Right.
Prodigy was also a dude his grandma's lived around the corner from 510, the studio that we all.
Oh, okay.
So Mello knew Prodigy from back then.
Damn.
Wow.
So he sat with him, they talked, whatever. He came back to the crib. I wasn't even there. He came back to the crib and said, yo, I got a lick. We're gonna do a joint on this Mobb Deep album. And the rest is history, because we went in, to be honest with you, that record originally had Nas was originally on it.
Damn, yo.
And Big Noyd was originally on it.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was originally supposed to be the first single on that album, on the Murder Music album.
Do you got the original track?
Nah, man, I don't have the original. I don't have.
Dang.
But what the crazy part about it is, though, it was going to be the first single, but what happened was, the album got bootlegged.
Oh.
It got leaked. So they was like, yo, we got to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they kind of put everything on pause, and they went back into the studio. And when they went back in the studio, they came up with this song. Y'all might have heard of it, called "The Quiet Storm" or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, we couldn't compete with that one. That
was crazy.
I would have been mad at them if they would have put our song out first.
And who was that? Who is that fully on that track? Is that Havoc? Who's that? Who did that track?
Prodigy did it first.
You talking about Quiet Storm, or you talking about
Quiet Storm?
Quiet Storm. That's both of them on it, ain't it?
No, I know that's on it, but who did the track?
I don't know who did the track.
Not Prodigy. Havoc did that.
Havoc did the track. Okay.
Yeah, you know that's White Lines, right?
Yeah. Stone Sailor.
I like White Lines. It's just the way he did it.
Yeah. I mean, he took it to a point where it's like he took it and made it grimy.
He made it really grimy, yo.
You know what I'm saying? And my man,
Because he took it was already a baseline. It was first thing, White Line's baseline was
classic.
so different when we was younger already. Like it was already ahead of its time. That do. That was so ahead of its time already. It definitely goes down with Impeach the President. It definitely goes down with all types of like the biggest samples or the biggest. White Lines was just a way ahead of its time, bro. And he took it and he muffled it and he put like some type of 808 on that shit that just killed it, yo.
Well, he did his thing. Now, shout to my man Nasty, because Nasty engineered that record.
Wow.
And it's crazy because that's my dude. I did a lot of records with Nasty. He used to work at the cutting room. You know what I mean? And Nasty's a real ill dude. Like this is how high I hold Nasty in my brain, in my heart, right? Nasty, we did a lot of shit. And when, you know, Clubhouse, I was on Clubhouse one time, right? And I seen Just Blaze on there. You know what I mean? And Just Blaze used to work at the cutting room as an intern.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So he would like I'm not gonna say intern, assistant is what I say.
You
know what I'm saying? He was assistant at the cutting room, right? And I remember just from then, because he used to come in all the time and be like, yo, if y'all not busy, come in this room and just check out some of the stuff that I got and tell me what you think. And me and Mello would look at each other like, this nigga is
crazy.
Already, right?
Yo.
So
right.
It didn't surprise me when he started coming out with some of these records that he came out with, because and he's one of the nicest, most humble dudes that you could ever meet. You know what I'm saying? So to bring it to what I was going to, I seen him on Clubhouse and I hadn't spoken to Just in, I don't know, it's been years. So I was like, yo, Just, what up? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. That was the last thing I had to say to Just about Just. My next thing was, yo, I need to get in touch with Nasty. That's how, you know, most people, you get a chance to talk to Just Blaze, first thing you're going to be is like, yo, Just, what's going on? Yo, we got to change math, boom, this, that, and the third.
Right.
I wanted to get in touch with Nasty because Nasty, there was so much stuff that we did a record with Pharoah Monch and the Far Side together. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, like
that's a big record.
We did crazy. We did crazy records. We did Heather B records together. You know what I'm saying? Like, which I just recently reached out to Heather B not too long ago, man, because I heard her shouting us out on she gave a nice rest in peace to Mello the other day. With her and Sway. So I, you know, shout to Heather B for real. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, we do a lot, man, and we've been through a lot. We've done a lot. You know?
Yeah, like more talk. Like
no, I totally understand them, man. Because Buddha, you know, I was just telling them last week, like we're so New York at the time, definitely in Queens. We all was like, you know how you say 6 degrees, but we actually was like 2 degrees away from each other with everything, and being connected to Long Island. Like people don't understand, like the growth of hip hop was like, you saw it grow. Like we literally saw it grow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I didn't experience something like that until I moved to Atlanta and saw it. And when I got to Atlanta, I was already knew how it rocked. But to like I told him last week, like to grow up with Fredro cutting my hair, to getting on the bus with Cheeks, to you know what I mean, to like watching my man work with Pharoah Monch and them before they become Organized Noise. Big shout out to the crew. I mean, Organized Confusion. Sorry, Organized Confusion coming up. Like we all kind of was connected, even down to like B and Fran is on here, even down the connection of like B and Fran coming with Biggie and them crew. Like somehow, some way, we all work just like connected. Some way, somehow. Like I said, I sat at the same table. You know, I sat at the same lunch table with Wu-Tang's DJ Ron. I knew him as Ron Dula back then, and Salam Remy. You know what I mean? So at Thomas Edison, you know what I mean? So it's just the connection was beyond like overnight, you know, like overnight. That's like that was my man, or I was cooling with him, and not only I was cooling with him, I'm in the same business, and we all still do the same. Like you said, Chung King Studio. We all used to be at Chung King. We all used to be at what else it was at in Manhattan?
Baseline.
Yes, yeah. I did, and definitely where I'm from in Queens at the Music Building. And on Jamaica Ave, I used to be at the Music Building. All that's where I did my first beat, which ended up going to Rampage to EPMD. I ended up doing my first beat there. Okay. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, I'm in the same building of like so many different kids who actually either got in the business as execs or end up being like having actually hit records.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So,
well, you know, that's crazy you say that because, like, you know, Mello and I had that spot in Queens, right? And it was we used to call it the Underground Railroad because so many people would pass through there on their way to stardom. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people that we didn't even know was going to be anything or whatever. Like, as a matter of fact, one of my dudes is a big time soca artist from Trinidad because, you know, I got Trinidadian roots. My parents, my whole family's from Trinidad. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And this is my partner Jay the Pro back here. He's from Trinidad too. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like it's crazy because my man Bungie Garland, who's one of the biggest soca artists in Trinidad, he was like, you know, he was doing so many different things. I actually showed him how to record at a less expensive way. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you gotta remember, we come from the analog days, right?
Yes, we do.
And during those analog days, you had to be in a bigger studio.
Yes, you did.
Equipment took up a lot more space and cost a lot more money and stuff like that, right? But when I saw the change happening, me and my partners, because we actually it's a lot before that, but we formed this thing called the Producers Coalition of America, which Fran is a part of, Spider's a part of, you know, Spider-Man from that did Poison.
Yes, yeah, I know Spider. I know he worked with my boy Neil Kelly. Yeah. I know Spider. In fact, Neil Kelly did a lot what you're saying. He condensed a lot of stuff for Spider. This is when it was moving from reels to that, like, but he condensed a lot of technology for him to work better. But go ahead, finish your story. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Perry is a part of the coalition. Chucky Madness, Joe Naughty.
Yeah.
And like Joe Naughty and myself, we're like probably the dudes who like probably the biggest geeks in the coalition. Like, I mean, like damn near nerdy with it because it's like, yo, they coming out with a what? We be up on that. So we literally was running around with laptops and M-boxes, recording niggas. Like, matter of fact, I think I got, hold on 1 second. Oh, my original M-box right here.
Okay.
I used to take this shit and I used to record niggas in hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Damn, yeah.
Yo, I remember that. Oh God, he kept me right now, yo.
So like because I got tired of hearing niggas give me that party talk, yo. Because you know you see niggas out, you be like, yo, what up? Oh yeah, no doubt. Yo, we need to get up, we need to do something. Yeah, we need to do something, no doubt. Yeah. Then next thing you know, you don't hear nothing from them. But if you out on the road and they say that shit and they ain't got nowhere else to go because the show's over, all that shit, and you're like, well, I got a studio in my room.
Right.
Niggas first thing they gonna do is be like, really? A studio in your hotel room?
Exactly. That was huge.
Because nobody was doing that. You know what I mean? Nope. So having that, it was a blessing, you know what I mean? So back to the whole Bungie thing, Bungie put me on to he was like, yo, he did a song with Cardinal Official, right?
Okay.
And he was like, yo, I want you to link with, you gotta meet this dude. He's a real good dude, you know what I mean? So he gave me his number and whatever. I called him and he was like, yeah. He was like, yo, Buddha, you don't remember me? I was like, yeah, nigga, you Cardinal Official, nigga, the hottest shit out of Canada.
Yeah.
He's like, nah. You don't remember me from back in the days? I was like, yeah, nigga. I remember. I used to see your videos and all that shit. Yeah, no doubt.
Right.
Nah, nigga. He's like, I came to your crib when I was 14 years old.
Wow.
I was like, oh. I was like, word.
Wow.
You know, I didn't even realize it. But
wow.
He's like, yeah, man. He said, you and Mello, man, y'all treated me so good, man. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't, y'all gave me so much respect, like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the way we was, man, because it's like you don't know who's what and who's who and who's gonna be what and who's gonna be who. So you gotta give everybody that love, you know what I'm saying? And first of all, I gotta pause for a second. Shout out to the G, man. I love the Giants. That's my squad.
Talk about it, man.
Every single day, all day.
Okay.
That's how we do it.
Okay, that's a weird segue. Okay,
that was good though because actually the last time I seen you. We was at that party and Mo had on that whack ass Buffalo Bill jersey.
You know, I was gonna mention that because I seen a picture that y'all had put up on there with you and some Giant shit and him and some Buffalo shit. Quick question.
Yep.
How often have you lived in Buffalo?
No.
There you go. Let's talk.
How often do you go to Buffalo?
Probably never.
About as often as the Giants and the Jets play in New York City.
It doesn't matter. That's gangster.
No, that matters a lot.
We play. Look, it's gangster though because we play in a whole nother state, but we call ourselves the Giants from New York.
Listen.
New York Giants. Like,
listen. Red can call itself blue all the time, but I'm just saying.
Who's getting punked though? That's kind of make Jersey look a little soft.
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact, Mo. You know New York niggas
they're still playing in Jersey. That's talking bad about the Bills, yo.
Well, make sure tell them to go back over the link again, yo. But yo, real quick though, I forgot, yo, the New York Giants. We 7-2. We on fire. What up, Key? We on fire. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bring it back in.
I don't know what happened. I think that was Jamal.
That was
Jamal. Not one to admit that the Bills ain't what it need to be.
Smoke us go, big PJ in the building. You see what happened to you? You know what you did? You left Buddha just like the Giants and Jets left New York City. You just
how
left.
many championships do the Bills have?
Talk about it, yo.
I'm just asking a question.
We that's okay.
Matter of fact, you know what? You're on pause until you can answer.
We're gonna bring the first one to New York City.
Let me tell you something. The Giants is 7-2, and we second in our division, B.
Listen,
playoffs.
And we got the
now.
line.
Let's wait to the playoffs.
How many championships do they have though?
Not right now. That's okay. That's all right.
Matter of fact, y'all went to the Super Bowl 4 years ago.
4 times. Yeah. Jim Kelly and them niggas is washed. Doug Flutie and them dudes, man.
Who does that? Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. What's that about?
That means we just waiting. That's all, because our day is coming. That's all. Okay, we're gonna enjoy it.
This ain't a 50 Cent record, nigga.
That's okay. Get rich and die trying, right? That's okay.
Well, it looks like you're about to die.
No, we're not. I tell you one thing, we're not leaving New York to go try and get it somewhere else. We ain't gonna leave New York though, try and go get it somewhere else.
Hey, look, we went where the money was better. I guess, it was cheaper to play in New Jersey.
And we housed it. Like you said, New York, we known for taking shit anyway.
Shout out to all my New Jersey. Yo, where my New Jersey people at? Yo,
this is what I was gonna say. This is what I was gonna say before I got cut off. So watch this, people. I might get cut off again.
Come on, friend. I see you, friend. Come on, man.
So watch this.
What up, friend?
It's like this though, for real. There is a West New York in New Jersey, but there is no East Jersey in New York.
Facts. That's a fact.
Okay, so let's get back to the music because he's shutting up.
No. All I know is y'all are in Jersey. That's all I know.
That's all you know, because you don't know nothing about the Bills championships. You don't know nothing about
have fun with the championships. Don't worry, I'm having Bo Brett is gonna have a Super Bowl show. Don't worry about it. We'll have a Super Bowl show.
Have you been to a Giants game?
Of course
Yeah,
he
I've
has.
been to a Giants game.
Have you been
His wife
to a
is a
Bills
Giants
game?
fan. No.
No, I haven't been to a Bills game.
You've never been to a Bills game.
Haven't been to a Bills
You've
game
been
yet.
to a Giants game.
Been to a Giants game.
I think you can't read. You're getting caught up with the colors. They both got red, white, and blue, and you just don't realize that one says Giants and one says Bills. I understand what it is. I got you. No problem.
I got
Don't worry
you.
about it. We'll fix that.
I got you. I got you. I'll come. I went to a Jersey City Giants game. Don't worry about that. Yes, I've been there before. I've been to a Jersey City Giants game before. It's nothing. But that's okay. That's okay. Enjoy, cause playoffs. That's all I got to say, bro. That's all I got to say. Is the playoffs.
And my best impression, playoffs.
Yo,
I knew that was coming, yo. I knew that was coming.
What y'all know about this? Come on, man.
Giant life over here.
What did y'all do with a game that y'all had won last week?
Hey, yo, how we have a worse record is still better than y'all? Still better team than y'all.
I can't tell. Y'all was on. Listen, y'all was on the edge of the thing. Y'all couldn't get out the end zone. And y'all not only did y'all not take the safety, y'all gave up a touchdown.
Facts.
It's
all good. We got it. Just wait.
No, you
just
didn't
wait
get it.
Yes, we got it. We got it.
And let's get
We
it. And that's yes, you did get it.
Listen. Jersey City Giants was 8-8 and went and got a championship, bro. So don't worry about it. We'll do what we got to do. If y'all can get a championship with 8-8, come on, man. And then
I see
the Jets too.
Jets
play in Jersey too.
I think the Jets got
only have 3 playoff wins though.
Right.
It's all good.
You got to win 3 to get to the Super Bowl.
But didn't the Jets beat Buffalo though?
Yeah, they beat us.
So yeah, let's talk about that. If you want to talk about,
we already talked about that.
Get past the Jets.
Last jump. Why are we talking about that now?
You see how he spaced it out the J.E.
Jets. Talk about the Giants. Anyway. What
about your basketball team? Do you follow?
I'm a Knicks fan.
You a Knicks fan?
I'm a Knicks fan.
And I'm a Brooklyn fan.
You mean the New Jersey Nets?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Oh my God!
I was.
New Jersey Nets.
Yeah,
you got it.
I was.
The hypocrisy.
I was.
You see the hypocrisy, right?
Contradicting itself all night.
No, it's not a contradiction. It's not a contradiction. I was a Jersey fan before I became a freaking Bills fan, bro. I was a Jersey fan back in Dr. J days.
Were you always a Nets fan?
Always a Nets fan.
Yeah, he was.
You was always a
Nets fan. I was
fan.
always day one a Nets fan.
He was trash, yo.
Because I'm at the age where I was following Dr. J before Jordan came. I was following Dr. J was my guy before Jordan came, and so I became a big Nets fan when Dr. J was there. So I would stay with Jersey the whole time, and then all of a sudden, when I wanted to be a Giants fan, they moved to Jersey, and I'm like, that's bullshit. I ain't messing with y'all. What's the New York team? Then I got with Bills, and then Bills lose 4 Super Bowls after that, but that's okay. I'm ride or die though. I'm a ride or die.
So who's your favorite rapper? MC Brains?
Oh,
let's get it. Let's talk. All right, we gonna get you. We gotta talk about your top 5 too, yeah.
I'm just asking.
Well, according to you guys, it should be Tretch, right? Because that's a Jersey thing, Redman, Tretch. That should be my favorite because that's a Jersey thing with you guys, right? That's a Jersey thing, right?
MC Brains, yo, that's crazy.
Who said MC Brain? I did a track for MC Brain.
See what I'm talking about?
I did do it.
See what I'm talking about?
He brought that light, bro.
You'll be nailed to the track for MC Brain.
B, you see what's going on, B?
I'm psychic.
You see what's going on here, B?
Yo,
B-Mac, you know how I do it. I can see it, B-Mac. I can see it.
Yo, how did you even?
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I don't know people you could pick, yo. Big shout out to my man Brian, yo.
Y'all had to do y'all homework about who y'all was interviewing. I had to do my homework about who I was going on the show with. Okay?
Yo, why did you put? Did Brian tell you about? Brian don't even know about MC Brain.
Nah, yo.
That's crazy, yo.
Buddha on fire tonight, B.
Fire. All right, man. In fact, let's talk music. Let's just talk. So who's your top 5?
I'd go away from sports if I was you too. Let's go. Talk music.
Who's your top 5 in rap, yo? Now this is Buddha. I know you didn't see the last show. So this is what I explained the last show. We had Savon on the last show, and you know Savon's Hollywood. So we had I see you, friend. We had Davon on the last show, and he was trying to throw the top 5 and all that. And I said, I got 2 categories with hip hop with me. You know, it's rap music and it's hip hop. It's 2 totally different things. I was like, I could say my favorite hip hop, but then I can also say my favorite rap artist. I can say my favorite hip hop artist. And of course, it has to be aligned to one. So how do you feel about that? Like, I have 2 categories, but what do you say about that?
I mean, I understand where you're coming from with that, and I respect that. That's not a bad philosophy to have. When I look at it, it's hard for me to just call a top 5 because there's always going to be somebody that will sit back and remember.
It is.
Like, oh man, I should have mentioned that dude. Or how do I? And even an order is kind of crazy. So if I start mentioning dudes, I'm gonna mention them in the way that I'm thinking about them, but not necessarily in that order, right? So I'm definitely gonna have to put KRS-One in my top, top rappers. I can't even say if it's 5, 10, 15, 20, but he's definitely in the top.
Right.
You know what I mean? KRS definitely in the top. Rakim is definitely up there. You know.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm taking it back. G-Rap was definitely
yes, sir.
Definitely one of my dudes. You know what I mean? And I'm doing it based on people that I never got a chance to work with.
Okay.
I would love to work with. Okay. I'm not counting any of the people because there's a bias based on people that I've worked with.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, Biggie's definitely in there. You know what I mean? Biggie's probably the person that he's the one person that I can sit there and say, if I had a chance to work with anybody today that I never got a chance to work with, he's the first person I say I have to work with. You know what I mean? And let me see. I'm gonna give you one more. Oh, Redman was a beast.
Redman
still is a beast.
Yo, he's one of those. If people said that was my number one, that's not an argument with me, bro. Like that's not an argument.
Still is a beast. But now the crazy thing is, there's so many people that got left off of that list that it's almost impossible to give a top 5. You know what I'm saying?
It is, man. That's why going through this type of situation, I gave 2 categories because like my hip hop is De La Soul, but if you just say rap, it's Run DMC. You know what I mean? So it's like
that's you talking about groups. If you start talking groups, it's different too.
I was just giving that example in a music sense, not even a group or solo rapper sense. Like I'm just saying, like if you want to say like my Black Thought goes in my hip hop, you know what I mean, and Drake would go in my rap. You know what I mean? Like
I knew what you meant when you said it. I understood. I understood that. That makes a lot of sense.
You know what I mean? So because there's numbers to because Savon was throwing numbers at it, so it was numbers to the game, and I was like, if you're throwing numbers, then you're talking about a rapper because that's when you want to rap and I'm not saying that anybody could rap, but rapping is like the singing form of like if you want to compare Celine Dion to Patti LaBelle because they both sing. You know what I mean? But I was like, but if you say hip hop, you coming close to my heart.
But
you know what I mean? Like
the thing is though, you can't numbers can't play into it for me because
it doesn't for me either. Too.
It shouldn't. All right, so I get what y'all saying. I love it. So now y'all talking hip hop. So y'all wouldn't put Drake in y'all top?
Drake. Okay, so Drake is definitely a dude that's worthy of being one of the top dudes. But I mean, I didn't even mention Eminem. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I would mention Eminem before I mentioned Drake. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's not a matter of whether I would put him or I wouldn't put him. I'm looking at it based on dudes who shifted and shaped the game so that dudes like Drake and Eminem can do what they do.
Exactly.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like without those type of MCs putting together the wordplay that they put together, the way that they put it together. I mean, everybody that I named was instrumental in bringing something different to the game.
Right. Well,
I think I would say Drake is changing because he was like the Mel Lauryn Hill. He started out singing and rapping, even though people probably was doing it before him, but he made it mainstream. Where everybody was like, "This shit is so dope."
Yeah, I mean, Drake is definitely gonna go down as one of the all-time greatest. You know what I mean? And if not for the records that he has, for the numbers that he's put up, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But again, if Drake had come back in the days when everybody was doing what they was doing, maybe we could have that argument.
Would he last? Would he hold his own? I don't know. Like
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean?
It's like basketball. Like if could the kids play with the kids back in the day? Like it's like, would you?
Can LeBron James play with Michael Jordan? Hell no.
That's not. We don't know.
He'd be a Scotty. He'd be a little bit more than Scottie Pippen to me. That's what I.
What do you? Hey, and this segues goes to how you feel about how I don't know if you saw this 21 Savage thing about Nas. How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Did you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard it. I'm gonna say this. A lot of that has to do with us too, man. Because
thank you.
When it comes down to these young boys, a lot of us don't take the time to educate them on what the history is. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop was a history lesson when I was coming up. It was You had to know this, you had to know that, you had to understand this, and you had to know the tapes and
right.
You understand what I'm saying? You had to know all of that. You know what I mean? And now it's more of a microwave type of a thing. No disrespect to it, but even I suffered from the fact that I used to put down quote unquote mumble rap, right? Mm-hmm. No disrespect in calling it that, but when I say it, people know what I'm talking about, right? But what I tell people all the time is like, what changed my mind about these young boys is I had to really think about how, I look at them and what they're doing, because what they're doing is the evolution of what we did. It's the next step on this route to whatever because who in your mind, who was the first mumble artist that you've ever heard? Artist, not necessarily.
Let me tell you. Can I say it? Well, go ahead, White. You go ahead.
It was like a couple people. I would say as a group, it was like Daz Effects, and Daz Effects is nice, but then you got Craig Mack. To me, nobody used to understand what he was saying.
Okay. What you got, Jamal?
No, and that's what I was going to say too. I'm not going to say they were actually mumble rap, but it's exactly what White's saying. The OGs back in our day who had their hip hop before our hip hop, when we played De La Soul,
you heard my question though, right?
What's up?
My question was mumble artist.
No, mumble are you talking about like the mumble?
I gotta get Buddha. I gotta have you on the show more because you gotta keep this nigga on the right path. You heard his question. No, answer the damn question, nigga. He going somewhere else.
Hold on. As far as Buddha, are you talking about as far as today's mumble artists, or are you talking about in
general
mumble artists that you can ever remember ever?
Not at the moment. I just gave my description of how the vibe feel with.
I'm gonna tell you who the first mumble artist that I can remember is.
Okay.
James Brown.
Wow.
Yeah.
People did not understand what he was saying, but he was a vibe. You understand what I'm saying? He was a vibe. Our parents loved him, but our parents couldn't understand what the hell they was listening to.
No.
And they caught flack for it. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah, cool.
If James Brown, who is the godfather of soul and could be looked at as the grandfather of hip hop, right? Could do that. Who's to say that these kids that are doing what they're doing ain't onto something in some type of way that's going to take it to another place?
And they did. And they did.
Exactly. So my point is, you know, everything has its place, its space, and its time. And we can't just because we are not used to or not comfortable with a certain thing or certain format, sit there and down it without trying to understand it.
Yeah.
I take back the word try. I don't like using the word try. Without doing our best to understand it. You know what I mean?
Well, White should know, because when we said our top 5 favorite groups, Migos is his top 5, his number 1 favorite rap group ever is what he announced. Yeah, you said that last week.
Wait, because I
Takeoff.
Yeah, but I said it, and that's hard for me. I'm an old school New Yorker, so I said it. No, because like
I'm not making
I don't know. Like Mobb Deep to me is like one of my favorite rap groups ever, yo. But ever, like first, they gotta be first. But I say I will put Takeoff in them, and I will put them in my top 5 because them niggas changed the game.
I'm not making the face because the Migos ain't worthy of what you're saying. I'm making the face because you pulled it back like Rick James. I ain't put my feet on the couch. Yeah, I put my feet on the couch.
No, I did. No, I respect them, but more saying it like I grew up only listening to fucking Mobb Deep, yo, and MOP, you know. But Mobb Deep, but Migos changed the game, and I've been in. How long we been in Atlanta for? Like 20-some years.
I've been even longer. Yeah,
I watched them niggas grow, and I appreciate them boys. I appreciate them.
No. I mean, listen, they found a formula to do what they do, and get people to enjoy what they do. You can't. I don't think there's anybody that's a hip hop fan can't say that there's not one Migos record that they haven't bopped their head to.
Oh, come on, man. I mean, and if you want to go statistics, they broke Beatles records on the Billboard charts as a group. You know what I mean? Hey, so this with Takeoff, God bless, passing away, rest in peace. Do you see the shift in hip hop, kind of like we had the shift? Now, I had to talk with my son for like 2 hours. I was like, the last feeling I had, and it's crazy with all the deaths that happened in hip hop, with Jay, and you go back to Biggie and stuff. Yo, why when Takeoff passed away, it made me feel like Scott LaRock time? Is that weird? It gave me that Scott LaRock feel.
Well, I could probably equate that to the fact that Scott LaRock for Boogie Down Productions was a silent assassin.
Exactly.
Right? And when it comes to the Migos, not that Takeoff don't say stuff, but he's the more quiet of the.
And that's probably what I got out of it. That's probably why. That's
why I'm equating what you said to.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I think like it was definitely an unfortunate event. My condolences go out to his family. His band members, it's definitely something that should not have happened, right?
Yeah.
But what can we take out of that to move forward? First thing we should take out of that is if you're making over a certain amount of money, you should not be certain places,
right,
doing certain things. Yeah. And I'm not saying, because I don't know what the situation was with them. But I'm just saying that, I'm a parent, okay? And if my child had that type of career and I called him and he told me that he was in this spot shooting dice so far away from home, I'm gonna be like, what the hell are you doing?
Without professional security, so it's like,
yeah, exactly. You understand what I'm saying? Because they're not just local stars. Those dudes,
those niggas are superstars. They're
world renowned. Yes,
they're international stars.
They're international stars. Yes.
Right. So it's a big difference between them doing what they're doing, on a local level, or doing what they're doing other places in the world. especially with the climate right now, because you know we dropping like flies, right?
Facts.
And it's if it's not COVID, it's each other. If it's not each other, it's the police. If it's not, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things going on, and it's if they're not killing us from being able to perform, they're stopping us from making money. They're doing, you know what I mean? They raping our pockets. They're doing a lot of things, and I'm just be honest with you. I'm probably going to get some trouble for it, but we all right. We got to be very conscious of why people want us gone, right? You don't want people gone that aren't, you know, dangerous to you. When I say dangerous, I mean like a threat. And when I say threat, doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to hurt you. It means that they can either take your spot or they can, you know, surpass you in some type of way. You know what I mean?
Right.
I see B said that he was an innocent bystander, which is true, but at the end of the day, he shouldn't have been standing by.
No, you're
in
right.
that situation. You know what I mean? They shouldn't have been there. In my and this is just my opinion, you know, that's just the way
but we've been in the business before, and and I see his circumstance and his situation. Of course, it's different out here in Atlanta. You know what I mean? Of course, it's different out here because in Atlanta, it's kind of because white know and B know with just. It was the same thing with when Shaka was having the 300.
I didn't want to say. I didn't want to mention Shaka's name because I know we all
dice game.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't no illegal dice game going on, but at the same time, the area they were in was an affluent area. It wasn't like the hood or nothing. It's where they were having it. But we used to walk out with 40 deep or whatever, even though Shaka would have certain security or whatever around us. But I felt that vibe was there, but it got mixed with the hood vibe and it went left. But he felt so safe because he's done it so many times, you know what I mean, and got caught off guard, which was sad. But I can see where he felt safe in an environment. Like I could see where he felt safe and didn't understand that happened to him.
So
and didn't think he felt the threat.
Right. You're from Brooklyn, right?
Huh?
You from Brooklyn, right?
No. I'm from South Queens. I'm from South Queens.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm originally from Brooklyn.
That's what I was going to ask you that too. Where you originally from? But yeah.
I know you're from Brooklyn.
And I mean, I've lived in Brooklyn. I've lived in Long Island. I've lived in Queens. I've lived in Far Rockaway. I've lived all over. But you know, thing is this: when you're from New York, that's what I should have said. You're from New York, but you know, Brooklyn niggas always got to say. Brooklyn.
Yeah, y'all gotta put Brooklyn in it. Yes, I know.
But you're from New York, and in New York, what happens if you let your guard down?
Oh, your instinct gotta be up. Your spider sense has gotta be up all the time.
You get jacked, robbed, or killed
in your hometown.
Well,
oh yeah.
Oh right. Yes, I've been there.
White.
I'm from the Bronx. I'm from one of the baddest parts of the Bronx, so I've been there, yo. So I know.
So the point that I'm making is, when I was 11 years old, I got robbed on the corner of my block because I wasn't on point.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now the point that I'm making is, you know, we have to be alert at all times. We cannot let our guard down.
Right.
We cannot be comfortability is a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. People work hard, and they tell you work hard so you can do what? So you can be comfortable.
Right.
Yeah, right? Scott. I said Scotland Rock B. I see what you're saying.
Right, definitely, yeah.
Right. So they say work hard so you can be comfortable, right? So, but what happens when you be comfortable? First of all, you comfortable. All growth stops. You don't grow anymore out of comfortability because there's no desire to grow. You're comfortable, right? You're not protecting yourself because you're comfortable, right? So the thing is to not be comfortable. What I like to do is be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right.
And that's what most people from New York are capable of doing.
Yeah, we can do that in a second.
you can if is it any comfort you're gonna have is you're gonna be comfortable being uncomfortable. So the fact that you gotta keep looking over your shoulders, a lot of people look at you like, what's the matter? Why you keep looking back?
Right.
Right? But
Right.
you're comfortable doing that because you know what happens if you don't.
Right.
Right? So the point I'm making is like, yo, when you make a certain amount of money, certain things you just can't do, man. You made that money so that you can do other things. Nobody's gonna look at you different if you don't go to that dice game. Right. And again, I don't want to speak like I know what the whole scenario surrounding.
Yeah, we're not.
Yeah. Even though, like, I know they was with family and they was with Jay Prince's son, but that's not security. So, like, what I'm saying is the level they are, the success, the superstars they were, they shouldn't have been in that predicament without a real security team. Fuck everybody else, because ain't nobody gonna really protect you, yo. So,
dude, it's like I know that y'all saw the TikTok with Snoop when he said that little quick short they had on him, and he was being interviewed, and he was talking about how Pac and Death Row rolled up on Nas. It was like 30 of them, and they rolled up on Nas and caught Nas off guard. Nas turned around and said, "Oh, my dude, what's up?" And Pac was like, "Nah, what's up now? Because y'all New York dudes, wop, wop, wop." And Nas was like, "Nah, man, come here, man." He's like, "You my favorite artist. I ain't got no beef, no nothing." And Pac rolled up, and he said, and Snoop said he walked closer to Pac. He said once he walked closer to Pac, he started looking around. Now he said, mind you, him and Pac got like 30 Death Row dudes in there. And Nas just grabbed him and said, "Bro, I got no problems with you, man." And then Pac pulled away like, "You better not, blah, 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 blah," and turned around to Snoop and was like, "Yo, get out of here, whoop-de-whoop." And he said Nas walked off. And he turned around to Snoop. He was like, man, he knew he was about to get it. He said, he told Pac, he let us go. He said, because he looked around and he said he saw them in the corners, yo. He said, "Nah, Pac, it's not we let him go. He let us go." Because
even after all the extra riffing he did.
Yep, after all. And how I know about that is how I know personally how everybody see like, yo, how is 50 moving around in South Jamaica? I was like, he moves different, bro. Like, it's totally different how he moves around. You know what I mean? Because you would think that, yo, how can you be through a city like that and you got all these enemies and you going through and Supreme Team and all. And I said, he moves. Then when you look around him, you don't have to see no crew. You don't have to see nothing. But you look in them corners, it's there. And that's what you're saying too, is when you get out a certain status, not only your instinct and like you said, be comfortable with being uncomfortable, but you also got to be prepared for that uncomfortable too.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Listen, a lot of times people think that because you make a certain amount of money, you can relax. No, you can't relax. You cannot relax. Like everybody that got caught slipping is because they relax most of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
no, you're absolutely right.
So
you're absolutely right. I mean, so God bless to him and his family, man. I'm friends with Coach K, man. Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar. I don't know if you know Coach, but Coach helped me with a lot of my publishing stuff and pushing some beats out there that helped me out a lot, man. And I saw him pretty much raise those dudes, bro, to become to where they are, man, from showcases and all that. You know what I mean? So that was a hard one for me. You know what I mean? Like not to discredit all the Jam Master Jay was close and everything else was very close. And of course, I grew up with Freaky Tah, so I have close stuff to me. But this Takeoff thing was just something kind of different. You know what I mean? I thought about Jay first. I was like, yeah, it was a Run DMC moment. But I was like, dag, but it gave me that. When I got that call that Scott LaRock guy, I was like, what? You just kept saying what? Like, what? Like, hold on. Like, wait, what? Like, why Scott LaRock? Like, what? Like, it was just weird. And what I tell people about Jay, you know, to these kids, it was like Jam Master Jay to us because how big they were. But with Jam Master Jay, at least he lived out his 25-year career. You know what I mean? No one needs to die. Don't get that twisted.
Right,
but he at least had an extendo on his career
but
to enjoy it.
Even for Jay though, he had a lot of things going because Onyx was bubbling. He had a lot of things that were in pocket that he was actually working through. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
he was big to those dudes, man. Like I mean, like he was like a big brother to those dudes. They you understand what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that was a. It's always gone too soon. It's always going.
Yeah, always. No matter who it is, you're absolutely right. No matter who it is, it's always gone too soon, man. It's always gone too soon. So my next one I'm going to is So who you feel? Who's your favorite producer right now?
Right now?
Yeah. Whose sound? Now, do you got the ear for all the drill stuff and the different sounds that's going on right now?
I mean, I listen to it, but I don't really pick out those dudes. I'm being honest with you. Hitmaker's dope.
Okay.
Like I you know, to be completely honest with you, I kind of removed myself from. Like I don't even listen to the radio in my truck. Like if I do, I'm serious. You understand what I'm saying? And on Sirius, I'm either on the sports channel or I'm on old school hip hop.
Yeah.
And because when I make music now, I'm doing my best to do what I do and not sound like anybody else.
Okay.
You understand? Like I might there might be a zone that I'm looking to hit. Like if it's Afro beats vibe or if it's a little even if it's a little trap vibe or you know what I mean or a boom bap vibe. But I'm not trying to I don't want to reach something because your mind is a crazy thing. A lot of times you hear something and you think that you thought of that, but meanwhile it was drilled into your head so much that it's just sitting there in the back for you to think about duplicating it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You do something and be like, yo, that sounds just like such and such. And you look at that,
right.
Like, I knew that. That's you know what I mean? So there's some tight dudes. You know what I mean?
Are you liking that? Are you liking that Nas and hit what's his name? Nas and well, I can't even think right now. What's the album they got?
Collaboration they got?
Yeah.
With those 2 albums he did?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I think, back to what you had said about 21 Savage.
Right.
I think that these dudes don't understand why Nas is held the way he is held. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I didn't mention Nas in my top 5 either, but I know the respect for what Nas brought to the game. You understand? I know that he could easily replace any one of those dudes, and I wouldn't be mad. Same with a Big Daddy Kane. You understand what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be mad. You know what I mean? Those things are interchangeable based on what's really going on. But when Nas he's got a lot to say, and he says it he's one of those dudes that allow you to listen to the lyrics.
Okay.
Listen to you know what I mean? And so the important part of music is there's three components to a song, right? You got you got the lyrics and you got the music.
Right.
When you have a great song is when you can actually listen to all three of those things at one time.
Right.
Have them coexist and be able to take in the whole thing. I get people that play me records and be like, yo, what you think about this? And I'm listening to it and I'm doing my best to figure out what am I listening to? Am I listening to the beat? Am I listening to the lyrics? Am I listening to the melody? What am I listening to? Because they're all not gelling.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when you get to a situation where you can bring all those three things together and have them gel, and Nas was able to do that on a lot of the records that he did with on those last 2 projects. You know what I mean? So I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you think about it, Jamal, man. When we was little, there was no such thing as a 50-year-old rapper.
No, not at all, bro. In fact, they were trying to make sure we don't see one like that. They were doing their hardest to make us feel, make sure our shame and our pride, make sure we get the OGs out of there, yo. For real.
Yeah, they made our culture feel like that.
They
made every young head feel like once you get a certain age,
and we were those young heads
it.
too, like being.
Yeah.
We said, yo, I just was listening to De La Soul is Dead, and the closer I listened to their lyrics, I was like, yo, y'all was trying to get rid of everybody, yo, like get it out of here. And now they're 35 years in, and it's like, but wow, like
remember too, though, we have a lot of our guys that was actually getting rid of each other. That's
true too.
There was a lot of rap on rap crime going on,
and that's what I was saying about the shift with Takeoff. Do you think we're gonna kind of go into that like self-destruction, like because now to me personally, it's getting closer to people are not acknowledging the shooter anymore, because the shooter became popular after a while. Is it going to go back to like the peaceful, or which way you think it's going to go?
I'm going to answer that, but what I was meaning when I said what I said about rap on rap crime, I'm talking about diss records. I'm talking about
okay, definitely
taking each other's career out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what 50 did to Ja Rule. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
Stuff like that. You had a lot of rappers. LL was the king of killing people.
LL was trying to take out Ice-T, Kumo.
He listen, most of his career was about taking other people out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he went after Kumo D, he went after Ice-T. Yeah, he went before Cannabis. He went after Kumo D, Ice-T. His mission was to take them out.
He was after a lot of people. And that's another reason why it was hard to foresee a rapper being 50. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And still be, because the media kind of promoted hip hop like something that wasn't going to last.
Right.
They made it seem like if it was something that wasn't going to last, it wasn't going to be around, and you'd have to be a fool to think that it was going that you'd see Jay-Z still coming out number 1 with on his first release, on his first day of his release, first week of release. You know what I mean? But here it is, it's happening. You know what I mean?
And it's dope too. But to go to my question, how do you feel the nature and the culture? How do you feel the shift of the culture after this Takeoff thing?
I feel that it's something that we need to control ourselves.
And
by that I mean we got to stop listening to what other people are saying and what other people are forcing us to believe or trying to make us believe. We have to we have to look at it as politics. Right?
Okay.
We got to look at it as politics. We had this big thing for the last 4 years between Trump and Hillary, what I mean? And Trump and Biden, and they looking at each other, and they the smear campaign, saying all this stuff.
Yeah, it's gang now. They worse than Bloods and Crips now.
Right. But all the stuff that they was doing and saying about each other, and all the smear campaigns, and all the dirt that they throwing on each other, right? And we watch how the media kind of,
gaslights
and pushes you in the direction that they want you to lean in, right? But the reality is that we as a culture have to not be lazy. I'm not saying that everybody's lazy. I'm just saying we have to not be lazy, and we have to pay attention to or be willing to research what's happening or what's being said. And don't just, you hear such and such happen and just run off and fly, because social media is crazy.
It's out of control.
You hear something and then you go out and then you got 50 people out there saying something that they haven't researched, and then that goes to 500,000, then that goes to 50 million, and now you have the whole world thinking something that's not even.
Well, that goes me to my point. I think social media changed the game, and these young people haven't learned respect. So that's why I think everything is so crazy because these young kids don't have respect. They don't even have respect for themselves.
Social media, they feel they're informed. They feel like they're ahead of us because they're informed faster.
You know why?
I mean, having young kids, they feel like they mad smart. Yeah, you are type smart, but as far as like street smarts and like just people person, like a human being.
You know why?
I'm taking as far. Go ahead.
Because these little people, they don't go outside.
Nah, they don't.
They don't go outside. They don't. Yeah. There's no consequence to the BS that they say and the things that they do.
Right.
It's like if they feel a certain way, they go out there and they blast that on the internet, and there's no consequence of running into the people you're talking about.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of people that's guilty of talking smack about somebody and not having to worry about seeing that person.
Yeah.
Like consequences are real. You understand? Consequences are real, and a lot of people don't have to feel those consequences. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm not necessarily saying or advocating violence or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but the reality is, you know, we had a healthy fear of our parents.
Yeah, we did.
A healthy fear.
And we had a healthy fear of the OGs if we didn't have the parent. We had
what up, Vinny? What up, IP? Yo, good looking on coming on, yo.
That was where I was going next. We had a healthy fear of the streets.
Yeah.
Right? But these little people ain't going outside. So they have no fear of the streets because they don't know the streets.
No, right. Let me give you a quick story on that. So White know I always tell this story. My son, he had to be like, how old was Ali? Ali had to be like 9 years old. So, and you know where I'm at, Buddha. I'm out here in East Cobb. So he grew up in this environment, you know, in this burb out here. And so it's elbow room. It's a community that you can just like. So I take him back home at 9 years old to my mom's crib on Linden in Springfield over by Andrew Jackson. And he was just like, hey, grandma, you know, I'm going to go walk up to the store being that it's connected to the block. And everybody, like, the record in the room just scratched like, you know what I mean? Because he thinks he's been outside because of the burb I raised him in. And that's with social media. They think they're outside because of what they see in social media. You have not been outside, bro. Like you haven't. We had to walk those streets. I had to know a code to have a girlfriend in pink houses. I had to know how to move to just go
I did pink
be
houses,
on a train at a certain time.
No, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was a little reckless. I did pink houses. I did Queens. I was with you in Queens.
We did it, White, but our instincts.
You have to know how to move, is what he's saying. Like,
right.
I mean, there's a record called "This Is the Way You Walk in New York."
Yeah.
You had to know how to move in the city. You had to know how to move in every part of New York. And people thought Long Island was soft, but there's parts of Long Island that you go out and get your hair out. You understand what I'm saying? So the reality is, if you don't know, you don't know you don't know.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you don't know, you don't know that you don't know.
Exactly. That's where the teaching your kids and having the instinct.
That's kind of like what's going on with everybody, the rappers from New York going to LA and not understanding what you can do and do out. Like you wouldn't do that in New York, but you're gonna go to LA and do it.
Shit, Brad will tell you, he been planning a trip out to LA for the longest, and people that we rock with out there was like, yo, this ain't a good time. Don't come out here right now. You understand what I'm saying? And understandable. You know, you need to have people that know the climate of where you going to rock with when you out there. especially if you're that far away from home.
I see you, Jason. I see you, Jason Thomas. You right, yo.
That's actually Vinny. That's his name is Vinny, yeah.
Watch Vin? All right,
Yeah.
yo.
What he say? What his comment say?
No, he was just saying survive the street and the end of the streets. You know what I mean? And it meets through the woods. That's a wild comment because it does. The end of the streets, it meets through the woods. You gotta even walking through the woods, being down here in the South. You have to, like the first time I got on the train out here, my instinct was up when somebody was just saying what's up to me on the train. And I didn't understand it.
That's another thing. You can't come to Atlanta thinking
I was
shit is
saying
sweet
what's
either.
up.
Shit is
But
crazy
at
out
the
here.
same time, you can't front on their hospitality.
Well, I mean, this is the thing though. So I move around here, and people, you know, I've been down here 14 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people, when they see me, they hear me talk. They say, "You from New York?" I say, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, how long you been here?" I was like, 14 years. They're like, "Oh, your accent ain't. You still got your accent." I said,
"That's what they say to me too, yo.
That ain't going nowhere." You understand? I still move like I live in New York. Now I'm a little bit more calm than I was in New York. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I still move with caution like I was living in New York, because just like I moved down here, them niggas can move down here.
Right. Exactly.
And that just means that is here now. So it could be anywhere. You can get hit up anywhere. And that don't mean that it wasn't here before I got here.
Right.
Because down here, they got their own type of shit. And there's places down here that I don't go just to go. You know what I mean?
Right. Nah, I totally understand, man. Hey, Vin, I will let you on, but we about to wrap it up. I just got one last question for Buddha before we wrap it up, man. What anything you doing for Hip Hop 50 next year, or anything you contribute, or are you doing anything? Because I know whatever I do, you're gonna be involved. But anything you doing?
Well, right now, my goal is to me and Fran and my partner Jay the Pro, and my man Sam. We got this artist that we about to release in the new year, and we just want to bring a different vibe. You know what I mean? To what it is. You know what I mean? And that's what we're looking at doing. But you know, I mean, messing with Fran, you already know. Fran keeping hip hop all day.
Right.
So,
all day. Fran's hip hop all day. We'll have Fran up here soon.
We gotta have Fran on, yeah.
Fran lover. He keeping hip hop all day. You know what I mean? And you know, it is what it is. But like bringing new music and stuff like that is definitely a part of the future. Me and my partner Pro, we formed this company called Goodfellas Music, and you know, it's crazy because somebody's like kind of like Bad Boys. I was like, kind of like the opposite of Bad Boys,
right?
You know what I mean? Because Goodfellas, Bad Boys, not no knock on Bad Boy, because great music, great time. You know what I mean?
Right.
But different time, different people. So different name. You know what I mean? And it's working good right now. I'm getting back heavy into the production side.
Good.
Doing a lot of mixing and mastering for people and stuff like that. So God is good, man. I've been blessed
all day.
Buddha, I want to
have you on the show, yo.
Right, I want to hear your blessings because you did so much shit in the game. If people don't know, yo, just Google him, yo, because I did the research him, and that shit came up a lot of shit about you. And I appreciate you coming on our show, Buddha.
Yeah, we had to give you.
And you gave us plenty of hits, nigga. Like
we had to give you. It has to be acknowledged.
Deep, you killed the game, and I'm just happy to have you on the show tonight, B.
All right,
I appreciate y'all opening up your platform for me, man. And you know, I'll come back whenever y'all want, man. Cause
appreciate it. Sooner than later, bro.
Definitely sooner, because I love the way you was checking more, and I'm all about that.
Whatever,
shit.
Yo.
The Giants and shit. I
invite you to the Super Bowl party. The Super Bowl party I'm gonna have with the Bills, yo. I'll let y'all know.
So you saying I'm never coming back?
No, you coming back. You a Giants fan, nigga. You might be my co-host. You might be my new co-host and shit, nigga.
You said the Super Bowl party for the Bills. So I'm taking that as he don't want me back.
Oh, there you go. That was a good one.
I got that. I just got that. Okay. I'm a little late on it, but
Bill Square's a little slow. I understand.
Yo, big shout out to Vin. Big shout out to IP. Just all day.
Go check if they on the new channel out because they're going on tonight.
Yo,
shout out to everybody that was shouting me out too, man.
For real, man. Good looking out, Slug, Fran, Brian, my man.
Definitely Just because you are part of our team, Just.
Yes,
you already
thank you,
know.
yo. Thank you.
Down in Atlanta, come check out the artist shop. You know
yes, check out the artist shop.
You got a lot of things. The facility is lovely. There's a lot of things that you can do there, and you know
we will be doing a show at the artist shop coming in the future too. I might do the Super Bowl party there with the Bill Super Bowl. I think about it.
Super Bowl party then is what you're saying.
But anyway, hey, yo, White, you want to sign out, man?
Yo, word up, yo, it's your boy White with Bubble Breast, aka I Slap You, aka Say It Again, y'all mean?
Hey, yo, this is Small, your big king from Queens, and thank you for having Buddha in the building. And we are Borough Breads.
Borough Breads, and we out this bitch.
All right, holla at you, bro. Good looking out,
man.
Good looking out, bro.
Safe, man. Appreciate y'all.
All right, yo. One.